Welcome back to Midnight Oil, everyone. I'm your host, Keegan, joined with my amazing co host.
Tab.
And today we're doing the topic of the great lost city of Atlantis. And I'm
Hell
very excited.
yeah.
I've, we talked about it on the pre show. Obviously have no idea pretty much about it, other than it's been depicted in multiple pieces of media. Little Mermaid, Journey to the Center of the Earth, Aquaman, SpongeBob SquarePants. But apparently it derives from Greece,
Yeah,
or at
it's
least.
Greek.
Yeah, so that's the topic today, and I'm really super duper excited about it actually, because it's going to help us kind of open the quote unquote Pandora's box of these ancient civilizations that Tab and I are actually super duper interested in. So
Mm-hmm.
woohoo, woohoo. Also, before we get started, shout out to my boy Zaid, because he's been listening to each of the episodes on his Twitch channel every time we drop them on Friday. So go check out Zaid. It's Agrod, AGR0ED on twitch.tv. Twitch.tv/Agrod. That's Agrod with a 0. He's my boy. He's not necessarily a day one, but he's my boy. So I appreciate him listening. And he told me to say shout out to Arak. I butchered it the way he wanted me to say it. He's from Iraq, so he wanted me to shout that out. But that's
Hell yeah.
my little plug. But yeah, Atlantis. We're doing Atlantis today. Do you wanna do a rundown real quick of just what
What
it is?
Atlantis? Yeah. So Atlantis is a fictional island mentioned in Plato's work Timaeus and Critias as a part of an allegory on the hubris of nations. Apparently, it's like a legend. It was literally eaten by the sea because of earthquakes.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so that's what Atlantis is.
Could you imagine your like nearest big city being gobbled up by the earth and no longer existing?
Mhm.
like imagine you live in like Florida, and Miami, just a chasm appears and it eats the entirety of like downtown Miami, and then it doesn't exist anymore. Like, that's bonkers.
Yeah, like peace out. Hope you can breathe underwater.
Yeah, never mind. I looked very stupid during the pre-show today. It was terrible. It was so bad. Oh my god. I don't even want to think about it.
No, that was so good though.
It was
Genuinely.
I'm hitting my head against a wall right now.
That is so goofy. So, what are we planning to learn about Atlantis today?
I remember what you wanted, but
Mm-hmm.
I personally want to learn about the like government of Atlantis before and after the earthquake, because I just want to know, like, what was it like before it was underwater, because like I said, it's already hard enough to have a city under like a regular government above land. Now you're putting it in the water, and you guys gotta communicate. And we during the pre-show we jokingly were saying it's hard to communicate under the water, so we were wondering if they used different bubble variations and the sizes of the bubbles to communicate. But no, I want to know, like, the government, how they communicated, and transportation. That's what I'm hoping to learn.
Hopefully.
What about you?
I want to know all the different theories about how, oh, does it actually exist? If it does, what's going on down there? Is it actually like a city? Are there people there? Is that what y'all believe? Or is it just a sunken island that's chilling like the Titanic under the water?
Yeah, I
So,
wonder if there's like stuff there. Like we know obviously we know the Titanic sunk, but we have a little bit less information about Atlantis because it's not as modern. So I wonder if there's like ancient civilization ruins, something like that,
mhm.
that really depict what Atlantis looks like or was, or anything about the people would be cool. I just want to know. I just want to know stuff about them. Like I don't know anything about them at all.
Yeah, me either.
So if you know anything about Atlantis, before we get into it, I want to do this thing where we ask the audience to either post and at us or comment on the podcast if that's an option where you're listening to it, and tell us what you know about the topic before we get into it, because I would like to know if I am stupid and because I know nothing or very little, or, maybe sometimes I do know some things about things and then I feel less like an idiot. But if you know nothing, be honest and tell me you know nothing. But if you do know something, put it down in the comments because I would love to see if I'm actually just an idiot. Because man, oh man, did the pre-show really change the perspective of my IQ level?
And speaking of pre-show, if you haven't checked out our Patreon, you should probably go do that. We just lowered the prices. So now you can get in there and listen to the pre-show for $3 a month. And that's the lowest one. The second one is $5, and the highest one is only 10.
Please don't sign up for that one right now. please, let's just, you know what, cut out the fact that we have a $10 tier. Don't sign up for that. I will be getting canceled. I will. Oh no, now it's gonna sound like I actually said something bad. Oh,
You
I
just
promise.
dug a hole.
Yeah, I dug a hole. It's not okay. I'm just gonna stop.
Yeah.
I'm
Anyway,
just gonna
so
stop.
let's dive into the origins of the Atlantis story. Yeah.
Yes, please.
So Plato's Creatus, whatever, says he heard the story of Atlantis from his grandfather, and his grandfather heard it from some Athenian statesman, Solon. His name was Solon, and that was 300 years before Plato's time. And apparently, he had learned it from an Egyptian priest who said it happened 9,000 years before that. So it's very a guy heard it from a guy, heard it from a guy, heard it from a guy that heard it happened 9,000 years ago. So, yeah. And it's rumored that Plato doesn't even believe his own story. His intent of telling it was to boost his ideas of an ideal society, using stories of ancient victory and calamity to call to mind the recent events of like the Trojan War or Athens' invasion of Sicily. Yeah, so that's kind of
do,
funny that he doesn't even believe his own story.
do you think that he thinks or did think that it was a whole lot of hoopla? Or do you
Probably.
think that there was some sort of, because okay, you know how like some stories were told way back when and there was obviously some exaggeration. That's where the fish stories come in, right? They're like, what, it was as big as my entire body kind of thing. And most fish are not the size of, well, most fish that humans are catching are not the size of their own bodies kind of thing. So, there's usually some exaggeration when you're trying to tell a story. Do you think that there's like, what do you think that he could be exaggerating about, like when he tells the story?
Maybe it was just a fib, to be so real with you.
Like, you think he's just totally gaslighting, like nothing happened? Maybe
Yeah.
that's crazy. He's
Because, I
yeah,
mean,
he's like talking about this city that disappeared from an earthquake and it got swallowed by the earth. Maybe it's like a
hmm
scare tactic. Was this during like war times, perhaps?
So he mainly talked about it to boost his ideas of an ideal society because he was a philosopher. So obviously he had a specific philosophy that he believed in, and that
Do you think
was, you
do you
know,
think philosophy's dead?
no,
You don't think so? You think that there's going to be some like modern philosophers or
I'm
are?
sure there are.
I can't name any, but that doesn't mean they're not out there. I might just be out of
Now,
touch.
what is considered a philosopher?
I think okay, you can look up the definition. I'm going to give what I think my definition of a philosopher is. I believe it's someone who has a new outlook on the world as we perceive it that differentiates from the general public. And it includes, I guess, like ideologies and different moral values that other people may not have thought of or agree with.
You're
That's
kind of
my
there.
that's my definition. Let's see how wrong I was.
So the actual definition of philosopher, really funny. It's a person engaged in philosophy.
Okay, that's not a definition. You
Yeah,
know what?
exactly.
Fact check on Google. Is this Google? Did you get it from Google?
I did get it from Google.
Okay, Google, you're getting fact checked right now. You're not allowed to use the word in the definition. I learned that when I was very little, possibly still pissing my pants. So, you know what, Google? You're wrong. Absolutely incorrect.
Exactly. But then I looked up philosophy. And so in ancient Greek, philosophy just meant love of wisdom. It's a systematic study of general and fundamental questions concerning topics like existence, reason, knowledge, value, mind, and language. It's a
Mm.
rational and critical inquiry that reflects on its own methods and assumptions. So it's basically just people that like to fucking think.
So, would we be philosophers?
Yeah, fuck it. We're the modern day philosophers.
You know what? I think you can take that title. Just based on how this recording session has gone today, I would feel bad counting myself as a philosopher. So I need to do a little bit of like reflecting
Soul
before.
searching.
Yeah, I need to do because I thought I was like so much better, and then I was like, you know what? Maybe I'm simply just not. Bro, the Atlanteans are haunting me. I think that's what's happening. I think they're trying to like speak through me.
No, that's funny as fuck.
I think they're like, we want our oceans back or something like that. That's what I'm getting right now.
So I've literally never heard of any of the. I looked up modern day philosophers, and I've never heard of any single one of them.
Like, not even a little bit.
No.
Are these like people that are
So
still around right now?
yes, I think that's what this link is. 10 living philosophers and why you should know them. The first one is, I'm gonna butcher all of these names. Noam Chomsky? I feel like I've heard Chomsky before, but
Mm,
nothing about him. I don't know how to say this name at all. Slavoj Zizek? Maybe? I've heard of this name before, but nothing about him. Cornell West. Martha Nussbaum. Alistair McIntyre, Daniel Dennett, Philip Kitcher, Peter Singer, Amartya Sen, Judith Butler, and that's all of them.
hmm.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah.
Do you
I
think
don't-
being a philosopher in the modern day is tougher than it once used to be?
Probably, I would say so. Yeah.
Because I think a lot of like coming up with new ideas is harder than it used to be.
I also really want to say that this could not make sense, but I want to say you're not a philosopher until you get into the future. Does that, because like
You're not a
people could just,
philosopher until you
yeah,
get into the future.
because like current day, if I were to say, oh yeah, I'm a philosopher for sure, and well, people just look at me and be like, okay, cool. But then in the future, people start like digging up, shit that I've philosophized about, whatever. Yeah. And they're like, oh, well, this bitch was on to something. Does that
Mm,
does
so
that make
so
any sort of sense?
so you're saying that people cannot insinuate that they are a philosopher until later on down the line when someone else decides that they are a philosopher?
Roughly, yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I could see that because that's kind of like saying, "Hey, I'm a prophet," without, proving you're a prophet kind of thing. And you
Mm-hmm.
can't prove you're a prophet until the end of the prophecy. So,
See,
or something like that. I don't know. You know what? I'm literally so illiterate today. It's so bad. I don't know what's up with me today. I am usually so much better than this. I'm so sorry.
that was so goofy.
This is terrible.
Having a good time.
Okay. Okay. So let's start with the actual like story of Atlantis, right? We know that Plato kind of played telephone with some people, and the story of Atlantis is kind of skewed all over the place. But are there any, like, I won't call them facts, but agreed upon things about Atlantis that multiple people have kind of said similar things to, or anything like that?
Definitely that it was underwater and that it sank. It was a
So
powerful and advanced kingdom that sank
so
in a
we
night
have
and a day. Whoa.
so we have that it was once above water and sank below water, or was eaten by the earth.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
that's something that multiple witnesses slash people have said,
I guess so. I want to say Plato was the one that like started recording it. I think, but I
quote
don't
unquote.
know. Yeah, I don't know why. The Athenian statesman Solon or the Egyptian priest or the guy who told the Egyptian priest or the guy who told that guy or the guy who told that guy that it happened 9,000 years ago. I don't know why none of them recorded it.
I wonder how they
Unless,
knew it was 9,000 years ago at that point. Because they didn't have like carbon dating back then.
mm, maybe they looked at the rocks.
They said, yeah, these rocks are old, probably about 9,000 years.
Can't you lick a rock and tell how old it is? Or did I actually just pull that from like my ass?
There's no way. There's no that I mean maybe I don't know. That sounds like some bullshit. You like lick the pavement outside of like a house or an apartment complex, and you're like, "Yep, that's fresh. That's about 20 years old."
Oh, wait. So I just looked it up and it says not a reliable method. Licking a rock to determine its age is not a reliable weapon
No
method.
kidding. Well,
While some
you're
rocks may stick to your tongue and be fossil bone, there is no single hard and fast rule for distinguishing rock from bone, and you should not lick any rock due to toxic minerals.
you're out you're out here, you're like, yeah, this rock tastes like it's about 400 years old. And
Wait,
I'm
no.
I'm looking over at you and I'm like, what the fuck does a rock that tastes like 400 years old even taste like, bro? What are you talking about?
So wait, this may enlighten you. This may enlighten you.
Oh, yeah, please.
Licking rocks in geology. Why and how? Answered by a geologist. Thank you. Licking rocks and minerals in geology is a common practice that defines some minerals, and it's fun.
That's what you got? That's the whole thing?
Some minerals have a well distinct taste, and licking can solve identification questions quickly.
What the fuck are you talking
Yes,
about?
geologists do lick rocks. Even more, we were taught to do it during our classes.
What?
There was a group of similarly looking white semi-transparent minerals like quartz, calcite, gypsum, halite, which is salt, and sylvite. And licking will save us a lot of time to separate the halite and the sylvite.
I'm going to be honest with you. When I went to college, if in my geology lab I began licking and sucking on some of these rocks in the classroom, I promise you that people would not have been like, oh yeah, he's just checking, how old these rocks are. No, they would think I have some mental disability causing me to lick and suck on rocks. Like, the, these people, where are you getting this from? What's happening?
That is so
Who
fucking
who's
funny.
licking rocks? I'm
I
sorry, but who? Why? Stop licking rocks. Please, if
wait. So
if we have
okay.
if we have any rock lickers and we know you're listening, please stop sucking on rocks. Please.
Wait a minute. No. Yes, don't suck on the rocks. They may be toxic. But this is where I learned about licking rocks. It was when I
Oh,
was a kid, and it's how to distinguish like a fossil versus just a regular rock. Because it says looking at it probably won't get you anywhere, but licking it might.
Tab,
Like what? How many
tab,
licks does it take?
he- tab. Let me tell you, you can usually differentiate a rock and a rock that has bones in it by looking at it.
Well, now you can, but maybe in the past you couldn't.
Like 10 years ago. What are we doing here?
So the science behind it, right? If you end up licking a fossil bone, you're
Uh-huh.
like your tongue will stick to it a little bit, and so that's how you know it's a. So that's how you know.
Okay. I believe you. I believe you.
It didn't come out of my ass. I'm so glad that that was actually a thing that people do. They lick
I'm glad
rocks.
I'm glad that there's a community of 12 other people on the planet that can relate to what the fuck you're saying.
If you lick rocks, let me know. I just need to know.
We were talking about Atlantis and now we're talking about sucking off some rocks.
Oh man.
Oh no. Why? Are we washed up?
No,
Are
I
we
think
washed?
this is just the beginning.
Oh god. Plato, help us.
Oh man. I don't have any research lined up right now. I was really thinking hard about licking rocks.
I so to segue. So Tab, what do you Okay, I have to calm down and piece my words together. Okay. So, even though even though Atlantis probably existed above ground, I don't know if that means that people stupid rocks. I don't know that people would still be living there just because of what we know about evolution. Evolution doesn't happen that fast to where if people are swallowed by an earthquake and then sent under the sea, you're probably not evolving that duration to be able to breathe underwater. So I want to know why, like, where did the idea that people still live there or were still living there come from? You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's a good
Because
question.
you're talking an entire civilization that disappeared, and then you're saying, that city's lost to everyone above the ground, and they just said, "Yeah, okay, sounds good, bye." Like, people had to have noticed, and then there had to be some like resurgence of society. I don't know. Like, you know what I'm trying to say? Like, there has to be some sign that it happened or is happening or was still happening.
So I want to say the whole conspiracy behind Atlantis is the fact that it was a very progressive civilization. So potentially it could be speculated that they were prepared for something like that to happen. Because it was supposed to be a representation of they are far more advanced than we will ever be. And that's why they live underwater.
So they're like us, but more advanced. or a more advanced version of an ancient civilization?
I was thinking more along the lines of aliens. So they're always like 3 steps ahead of humanity,
Mm.
maybe even 5.
So you're saying that it's possible or likely that the people who lived in Atlantis prior were aliens, or the one they are now aliens because the city is underwater and it's a quote unquote safe place to live away from humans.
Could be either or, really. I was just basing it off of what Plato was saying about how it was like a very sophisticated civilization where they were ahead.
Gotcha. So even before the civilization disappeared, it was said or at least like proven at least by Plato that it was more advanced than most societies at the time.
Mhm.
Interesting. So what they have like Ford Model Ts? What they have?
Crystal lasers.
That's insane. So they had like welding torches.
Yeah.
Uh,
So I got to this website somehow that is basically people having past life memories of living in Atlantis.
okay.
And this person remembers being a healer. Atlantis was destroyed due to building a crystal laser without calculating the strength of what it could do. I remember getting onto a boat 2 days before Atlantis fell. That's crazy.
Do you think that there's legitimacy to that, or do you think this is someone that was on a lot of drugs?
I have no idea. They said that they had this because they did a series of meditations, and they weren't even looking for past life memories, but that's what they found.
Mm. So there's probably some legitimacy to
Mhm.
it. I don't
There
know. I'm
was
still
oh,
I'm
there's a
on
bunch of them.
edge. I'm like hit or miss with the whole that like the spiritual parts of people saying like the past lives stuff. Not that I don't think that what they are seeing is like illegitimate or anything, because obviously I'm not having that like experience, but that it, like to me that sounds crazy. Like not like impossible or anything, but like I've never experienced something like quite like that. I've experienced like dreams that feel really real. So maybe like I mean, I guess that's what they're saying though, except they're conscious about it.
Mhm.
I don't know. That's so interesting.
So this one sounds like that they because I'm reading through some of these, and this one sounds like that they lived in it when it was underwater. They were talking about how they had their own temple where they lived. It was made out of white marble and light blue granite. The front of the temple had support columns that were very tall. The temples looked like ancient Greek and Egyptian style in construction, but more creative in science and color. Each column had inscriptions of the Atlantean language, which was complex and a lot like ancient Egyptian hieroglyphs. Which I have a tab where that's open. I did look that up actually. And there is a picture of the Atlantean language and it does give Egyptian hieroglyphics. Except for the numbers give Morse code.
It's because they spoke bubble speak.
Yeah, only in numbers. But it says that they had mermaids, dolphins, fish, exotic birds, coconut trees, tropical palms. That's crazy.
Hmm. I want to know where is the lost city of Atlantis located?
The Mediterranean Sea. No,
Hmm.
probably not actually.
So this says, and grain of salt always when listening to us. We're not educators. This comes straight from Wikipedia, so this could be out of someone's ass. But this says the Canary Islands and the Madeira Islands were identified as a possible location west of the Straits of Gibraltar. But no, you're right about the Mediterranean Sea, somewhere in the Mediterranean
Oh, okay, sick.
or near it, at least.
Very cool. It says evidence
And
is scarce. Scarce doesn't mean there's none, though. So I need to find the evidence. I want to believe. I do believe.
I want to believe is
Mm.
my favorite quote from the X-Files. Shout out people who listen to or watch the X-Files. We know you're out there. So it's up in the air because so Aristotle believed that Plato, which was his teacher, invented the island to teach philosophy. Is that what you said earlier?
Yeah, he was trying to push his ideals of like a perfect world kind of thing. Pretty
And
sure.
he's claiming that he created this whole island?
From his mind, imagination.
Wow. He said, or this is Proclus. He said, as for the whole of this account of the Atlanteans, some say it's adorned history, such as Crantor, the first commentator on Plato. Cantor also says that Plato's contemporaries used to criticize him jokingly for not being the inventor of his republic, but copying the institutions of the Egyptians. Plato took these critics seriously enough to assign the Egyptians this story about the Athenians. I'm sorry. No. Athenians and Atlanteans. So as to make them say that the Athenians really once lived according to that system. That's so
Hmm.
crazy that we have a record that says that. Like, that's so crazy.
So the location, I'm looking at some like ancient maps. If you turn a globe and you look at where, so not how we would normally see where the US is, but it's like on the other. Oh, no, I lied. I'm looking at it just horribly wrong. My bad. It's like diagonally up to the left from Africa.
Oh, so it's like in the ocean
Yeah. It's
slash sea.
It's almost in the middle of, like, America and Africa. Almost. It's more towards Africa, though.
So here's what I have gathered so far, and I hope this doesn't burst anyone's bubble, but it is said that there's no definitive evidence that the lost city of Atlantis existed. Because most historians and scientists agree that Plato's account of Atlantis is fictional due to there being no written records, no traces, quote unquote, found, and it was just Plato's inspiration because he may have been inspired by different contemporary events such as the failed Athenian invasion of Sicily or the destruction of Helike. Basically, they're saying that his perspective was a little skewed, and there's a bunch of different theories about the inspiration. But isn't it crazy how even if it was just by one guy's account, Plato's account, that it's made it all its way to modern day where we're talking about it now? Like, isn't that weird? Like, if
Bro,
it
it
was
was
just one, if it was
impactful
just one guy, why do we still talk about it? You know, if it's nothing.
because he was a famous Greek philosopher. And it also adapted into media that we all watched as a kid. So,
Well, yeah, but like, why? like, like if it was just some nutcase trying to push an agenda, basically. Like we've seen people these days trying to push an agenda, and it doesn't like super make sense
I bet
sometimes.
in 100 years, there's going to be movies based on those nutcase agendas, though.
You're
You know what
probably
I'm
right.
saying?
Yeah.
Like, they're gonna discover Twitter in 100 years and be like, whoa, we have to make a fucking movie on this. This is historical, dude.
Do you think that if we worked on it for like a month, we'd be able to make our version of Atlantis and it gets carried on for thousands of years?
Yeah,
Okay. Put it on
let's do it.
Patreon.
That's our magnum opus.
Yeah, that's our magnum opus. It's just gaslighting an an entire like next 10 generations of people.
What are we gonna name the lost civilization?
Croatia? I don't know.
That exists, though.
Oh, Croatia does exist. Where? Why did I pull Croatia? What?
I don't know.
I don't know. I guess I just want to be canceled. That's terrible. No, I want to make like I don't know.
We can name
I'm
it
not a
like
philosopher.
Carmex.
Carmex. I
Every
like
time
Carmex.
they look it up, they'll be like, "Oh, that was an old chapstick brand that has now been outlawed by the new FDA. It was popular back in the 21st century, but also it was a fallen civilization."
Bum bum bum.
Yeah,
Yeah, back in the World War III, where people had to eat like beans and rice for 18 months straight.
that's just like the Great Depression.
That's right.
Repeat. History repeats itself.
Repeat stuff, repeat stuff, repeat stuff, as Bo Burnham says. Shout out Bo Burnham again. 2 episodes.
Hey yo, hey yo. It also had a major play in, of course, mythology. So I think that's where the legacy kind of carried on. Because apparently the Temple of Poseidon was at the center of Atlantis. So, I mean, of course,
Mm.
people love mythology
Why do you think that is?
because it's cool.
Yeah, but what like this bro, it sounds like all of my thoughts are high thoughts, but I'm not high. But like why do you think that people think mythology is cool?
I mean, this is
'Cause
going
I
to get a
agree it is.
bit controversial, but I'm talking about it. I just want to preface this. I'm talking about it as if it was a fictional book, okay? But it's just like how, I mean, people think the Bible's cool, ancient stories, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree.
So, like, and I'm sure there's still religions out there that believe, in mythology as if it was the Bible.
Oh yeah.
So,
There
well,
definitely are.
there are
There's
because
thousands.
I know a bunch of like my friends that are in witchcraft be talking about deities that are Greek gods and shit, like Dionysus and all that. So, there
Which by the
is
way,
still a religion out there.
if you look up a picture of Dionysus, you'll be like, "Whoa!" Like it doesn't matter what kind of person you are. Dionysus is just a whoa kind of person. You know, this is a little off topic. You know how like some of these like mythological renditions of beings are just absolutely just out there. Like they're either so huge as far as muscles go, or they're so sexualized or like just all of these things. Do you think that's on purpose to make it more quote unquote entertaining? Or do you think that's just like what they were perceived to have been?
That's probably, I mean, it's just like beauty standards now. That was probably what they were like, oh, this is peak man or peak woman. So, of course, this would be how all of the gods looked. I think it's really
Mm.
funny when people try to depict Dionysus as like a twink, but in reality, I'm pretty sure he had like a beard.
Twinks can't have beards?
Not normally. I mean, not to tell twinks how to live their lives, but usually the when I picture a twink, it's very shaven and clean, whole
Mm,
body kind of vibes.
gotcha.
It's usually the bears that are hairy, gay standards, you know what I mean? And I can talk about this. I'm
Yeah,
gay.
Tab is qualified. Tab's qualified.
I have a gay friend.
And we're canceled. Pack that shit up. It's been 2 months. I have a gay friend.
No, I got that quote. So my boss at the haunted house, I'm owned by I'm owned, not me. The the haunted house.
Yeah, someone actually owns Tab with a contract. Oh
The
no.
haunted house
Oh, no.
is owned by two married gay men. And
Yeah. Who own
whenever
you?
but whenever one of them says something that like usually only gay people can say, he rebuttals with, I can say that. I have a gay friend. And I just thought that was
Mm,
funny as fuck. And so I
no,
stole
that's
it.
true.
I stole it.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean that's valid.
His gay friend is his husband.
Thank you for clarifying.
Uh, no,
uh,
that's funny. That's funny.
yeah. What Atlantis will do to the human brain.
I love Atlantis. I want to live
I
there.
really thought we were gonna find more, but it just sounds like it was some random hoopla that Plato was talking about.
Yeah, he was just telling a little story. I mean, there's people that do believe in Atlantis. Like, I found at least 6 theories.
Yeah.
Some people believe that Atlantis is the story of a Minoan civilization, which flourished in the Greek islands circa 2500 BC. There's a story of Atlantis being the retelling of a Black Sea flood. And that was in 5600 BC.
Oh my god.
It was the Black Sea was a freshwater lake, half its current size. The flooding inundated civilizations known to flourish along its shore, with hundreds of feet of seawater in a short period of time. That adds up.
I just
If
can't like why did Plato have to yap?
Wait, I like this theory. Atlantis was Antarctica. Because, I mean, no, I can't even say that out loud. I'll look stupid because it just clicked in my brain that I was going to be incredibly wrong.
Well, now you have to.
I was going to say, wasn't Pangea still around?
Oh no. Oh no.
But I know that's false. I know that's false.
That's yeah, yeah, yeah,
Oh, man, this
yeah.
episode is going to be nothing but
Dude,
fibs
I
and
hope
us
it's
being
salvageable.
stupid. Oh, yeah, it
I
has to be.
I I hope this is not someone's first episode. Oh no.
I hope it is. This is gonna be a funny episode.
Oh, it's funny. It's funny, but is it followable? I don't know. I have no idea. It's like that one clip of Joe Rogan saying we may have eaten too many mushrooms. Like we and then, and then what's his name? It's Shane Gillis saying, "I bet we can drink our way out of this."
Oh man.
Oh no.
I do like the Atlantis was Antarctica though.
Yeah, I mean that's a cool theory. That's cool. What do you think about the depictions of Atlantis? Because we really don't have a lot to go off of. At least not that I've found so far.
Like as if like the pictures of what people think it looked like.
Well, yeah, pictures, the movies, different
I
media, like
fucked with that Atlantis Disney movie only because I
the
looked like the main character for a little while of my life when I had that haircut and
Atlantis.
glasses.
Are you talking about the guy who looks like he belongs in Treasure Island?
Yeah.
What's his name? Atlantis. Animated. Atlantis anime?
No. No.
Yeah, you do kind of look like this guy.
If I cut my hair a little bit shorter.
Yeah, and it's the glasses.
I don't have circle glasses anymore though.
No, oh, you got different glasses.
Yeah, I got real guy glasses. I don't
You were talking about contacts.
I do have contacts. Yeah, oh, the
How
guy's
often do you
name
wear them?
was Milo. Sometimes. Sometimes.
Milo. Yeah, you give me Milo vibes.
Fair enough, I guess.
I see. I think it's the haircut. I think
The middle
you have.
part.
Yeah, you have the Milo haircut for sure.
And I did have those glasses. So
Yeah.
that's how it'd be. Maybe that's who I was trying to be.
Subconsciously. Oh, what a fucking episode. Oh no.
But no, at least the pictures of Atlantis, right? They all look fucking different.
Yeah.
Like every single one of them.
Like not even like a little different. It's like
No, yeah.
a fair bit different. I just want to know how because there's no like the only widely accepted thing about Atlantis is that it was underwater and a lost civilization.
Yeah.
Because there's a bunch of different depictions of it and that just confuses me even further.
I don't know. I feel like we probably should have read Plato's Timaeus and Critias or Critias.
Yeah, but you have to also think that that was in Greek.
Oh, I mean, there has to be translations.
Yeah, but do you like it's kind of like how different portions of the Bible or the Quran or any really old text, it doesn't I'm not just religious. Those are just the ones that I know are older, but you know, it's been a very long time since these things have been told. Like some things were probably lost in translation because like in 100, 200, 300 years, what do you think the definition of, or how would you translate, you know, bussin or dab, or you know what I mean? Like how would you translate these things without like a recording of the media?
Fair enough.
It's just crazy.
I found it online translated.
Oh,
It's not that long.
well, yeah, why don't you read a little bit of it? Maybe not the whole thing, but
I don't even know where I would start to keep this on brand.
how long is it? Is it
It's longer
like
than I thought it was, I'll be real with you.
is it like a couple pages or
It doesn't necessarily say, because I mean, it's all just in this one window. I sent the link in the
oh, let's
chat
see.
if you want to also have a look.
Yeah, I'll take a look.
It's set up like a play, but then this one dude just goes on a motherfucking rant of like 10 paragraphs, and then it just says the end.
I'll just read this one excerpt and then you can pick and choose some stuff. It says, first of all, they bridged over the zones of sea which surrounded the ancient metropolis, making a road to and from the royal palace. And at the very beginning, they built the palace in the habitation of the god and their ancestors, which they continued to ornament in successive generations. Wait, what is that word? Oh, yeah, ornament in successive generations. Every king surpassing the one who went before him to the uttermost of his power until they made the building a marvel to behold for size and for beauty. And beginning from the sea, they bored a canal of 300 feet in width and 100 feet in depth and 50 stadia in length, which I don't know what a stadia is.
No idea. Must have been Greek.
Yeah, you should take a look at what that is while I read. Which they carried through to the outermost zone, making a passage from the sea up to this, which became a harbor, and leaving an opening sufficient to enable the largest vessels to find ingress. Moreover, they divided at the bridges the zones of land that parted the zones of sea, leaving room for a single trireme to pass out of one zone into another. I need to get my English teacher on this shit. He would love that. He's shout out to my high school junior and senior year English teacher
What a homie.
because yeah, he was actually really neat and he's the reason why I made it through school and cared about it. So
Shout
basically
out.
it's just he's painting the picture of what it was. But
Mm-hmm.
basically, the part I wanted to read was the palaces in the interior of the citadel were constructed on this wise. In the center was a holy temple dedicated to Cleito and Poseidon, which remained inaccessible and was surrounded by an enclosure of gold. This was the spot where the family of the 10 princes first saw the light. And thither the people annually brought the fruits of the earth in their season from all the 10 portions to an offering to each of the 10. Here was Poseidon's own temple, which was a stadium in length and half a stadium in width and a proportionate height, having a strange barbaric appearance. And then it goes on to explain more about it being covered with silver, pinnacles of gold, different pieces of the temple roof that was ivory, stuff like that. But he basically describes it in very descriptive detail and kind of crazy.
Dude was thinking like 5 steps ahead. He was like, yes, I'm gonna make this lost ancient civilization. Because the way that he went into detail to just make a point of like, this is what the ideal civilization should be like. That's crazy.
The last words were "he spake as follows," and then it just says the rest of the dialogue of Crititas or Critias has been lost. The end.
Yeah.
So there's probably more, to be honest. But there's about 15 to 20 paragraphs. And if you want to read it, it's just classics.mit.edu/Plato /critias like .html. It's a strange little I don't know. Do you think Critias is Greek? Probably, I would assume.
Yeah, because I mean, he was a
So
Greek philosopher, so
yeah.
it'd be.
But yeah, he wrote a bunch about it, so take it with a grain of salt. And there's Hermocrates had part in the dialogue. Timaeus, Socrates, Critias. I don't know. I don't think I'm saying any of this right, to be honest with you. But it was written in 360 BCE. Who's Benjamin Jowett?
Yeah, that translated it.
Who is Benjamin Jowett?
He was an English writer and a classical scholar.
And he was born in 1817, so he translated this shit like 2,000 years later? What? So did he just learn Greek? What? Why is he the translator? Known for being a writer, scholar, and translator of Plato and I'm gonna butcher this. Thucydides? Oh no.
Where the heck are you right now?
I'm
Oh
I
my
promise
gosh! Wait,
the Thucydides,
Thucydides, right? Maybe Thucydides.
Thucydides. Bro, wrap
Ye-
this shit up.
Oh man. I actually did look up what a stadion was while
Oh
you were
yeah.
reading. It's obviously ancient Greek, and it's the unit of length that they used, and it consisted of 600 ancient Greek feet, which I think were called pods, something like that. But the length is unknown exactly, but it's between 150 meters and 210 meters.
How do they know that? And why don't we know the exact? If they know the range, how do we not know the exact?
Because it was calculated by historians. So obviously, remembering Benjamin Jowett, who's that guy? So
Yeah. I mean, wow. I think my English teacher would actually be very upset with me.
our Greek mythology week is going to be really fun.
Bro, I can't wait, but at the same time, I need it to sound like my IQ is over 10.
Fair enough.
Because oh my gosh, today I was just not I don't know. I don't know what happened.
We out
It was
here.
all Plato's fault.
I swear. Come on now, Plato. Be real.
So let's wrap it up.
Yeah.
What do we know?
Atlantis was probably not real, and that's a bummer. It was an underwater civilization that got sunk, and they were probably futuristic. That's what I have gathered from this.
Very much less information than I thought there was. Again,
It's giving
I really thought
Area 51 episode.
Yeah, I really thought that there was actual like the media makes it sound like that there's actually way more information out there because a lot of them like the different depictions of it are both very similar and very different at the same time. So I assumed that there was something out there. And other than this documentation that we don't even know if it was translated correctly from Plato, there's not really a whole lot to say other than it's an underwater civilization with a couple different religious ceremonial rooms and statues and whatnot, but we don't know a whole lot. We would really have to talk to Plato and those around him to really figure this shit out because there's not really any real documentation about it.
Yeah, very much that. I thought there was going to be a lot more.
That's crazy. I did too, to be honest, because when you hear Atlantis, it's like this really well-known thing. So I just wonder how it got to this point, you know?
It had to have been like media adaptations of the original text that was translated, I fear.
Yeah, but
So,
when George Lucas made Star Wars, he wasn't like, "Hey, this place fucking exists." So
yeah.
I just don't get it. I don't understand.
No,
I don't
that's
know.
valid.
I don't know. I don't get it. I really thought that there was going to be more like, "Hey, we have pieces of these Atlantean ruins at the Smithsonian or something." Like I thought there was going to be something. I don't know. Maybe the American education system failed me. I
Maybe
don't
there
know.
are, and we just didn't find it.
Yeah, I mean, who knows? We really try. I tried digging though. I did
Fuck you,
try digging.
Atlantis. I believed in you.
Like Tab found the actual document, at least one that we could read that we assume is translated correctly. But again, we don't speak Greek, and it's already translated in English, so we can't even confirm. I don't know. I really just thought that there was going to be more definitive answers to this.
I'm looking up to see if there's any evidence.
And I have the Atlantean hiccups right now. Ugh, I'm speaking Atlantean. Do you hear it?
Yeah, I'm translating right now, actually.
No, but there's probably stuff that I don't know. Maybe there's Atlantean historians. I don't know.
Yeah, fair enough. Well, Atlantis, you've let us down. I don't know if I believe in you anymore.
I don't know. I just really thought that because of all the depictions in different movies and shows. Oh my gosh. Wrap this shit up. I can't even.
um,
Oh man.
but yeah, Atlantis, you're over. We're done. We broke up. Well,
Yeah,
that's it.
we're through. We're through.
We're through with Atlantis. Fuck you. Don't text me. Don't call me. I'm blocking you on all social media. Like, Atlantis, you
You're
lost.
you're still cool, but I'm upset that you're fake.
Maybe I'll store a little belief in the back of my brain.
I don't think I've been turned into an Atlantis hater, but I definitely feel like I just debunked it in my mind. Like
Yeah.
that kind of sucks.
Mm-hmm.
It was just a guy that said, "Hey, these things exist." I'm like, why would I believe you?
I don't know. Maybe because he was a philosopher. I wonder if people even actually like Plato. I've never seen like Plato hate on the main before, you know?
Not happen either, but it was also thousands of years ago. He probably got his hate thousands of years. I don't know.
I mean, it did say, I read somewhere that it said that Aristotle totally like laughed and made jokes about him creating the ancient civilization that was bustling and so advanced just to destroy it. And he made a specific joke pointing out like, man, you built up a civilization just to ruin it.
No,
Goofy.
literally. Oh my gosh, these hiccups. No, if you support Plato, at us and say hashtag Plato love. And if you don't like Plato, say hashtag Plato hate.
That part. Yeah, so go follow us on Patreon, of course. We have a lot of good stuff there. You can follow me on Instagram at tabwtf, and you can follow Keeg on Instagram by is it still like the 3_1?
Yes.
It's the Keeg, but there's 3 underscores between the and Keeg. So it's the ___ Keeg. And or you can follow us on Instagram at the Midnight Oil Entertainment. So definitely go do that. But yeah.
I would also like to plug this. So I got a new microphone and I'm just going to plug them. We don't have a sponsorship. Elgato, if you're listening, and we know that you are, bless the souls that work at your company that made the Wave 3 because this microphone is awesome. And I need to do a little more tweaking and stop getting the hiccups during our episodes. But this microphone is awesome. So if you want a decent microphone for a good budget, I got this one under, I think it was like under $150, $130. somewhere around there. If you want a good budget microphone, this is a really good microphone. So I just wanted to plug that. But yeah,
That sounded so sponsored.
I know. I wish we were sponsored by Elgato. I'm sorry for everyone's ears. Oh, Tab, take us out. I'm so done. I'm
I'm
over it.
so weak. But yeah, that's all for today's episode. We'll see you in the next one. Good
Toodles.
night.